All right, so I'm sharing my screen now. Please let me know when you can see my screen. So I'll be sharing my screen.
Yeah, definitely. I will let you know once I see it on my end.
All right.
So, yes, I can see your screen.
All right. So thank you everyone for being here. We are looking at two things today. We'll be looking at the joins and the where clause. Right, so in the group, I shared two materials that we'll be using for our class. And it's a sales report by product and also another data set for the region where each of these products are being sold. So first off, I want to just take you from the beginning where you can just walk through the data. So how do you have your data in your CSV file, your Excel CSV. So how do you bring it in? So in this database, let's bring it those tables into our database. So I want to right click on this test. So I created this because of this class. So I would say tags, and I want to import my flat file because it's a CSV file. So I click on this. Click on the dialog box next, then I'll browse to show where these data are. But if it's not here, I can easily locate mine, but in case it's not showing you directly, just locate it where exactly you kept it. So let's start with the sales. Next. I want to untick this because I don't want any value to be dropped. So just go next, next, and finish. So we are done with this one. It's not appearing here yet, but if I right click and say refresh, open our tables again, you can see it here. This is the one I just brought in. So it's two tables. I want to do the same thing again. Import, next, browse, and then bring in our region data. So please, if I'm speaking too fast, please let me know. If there's anything you want, any question you have, please let me know so that we can all move along. Close. Now I want to refresh this again. Open the tables, expanding, and now I can see my region data and my sales data. Now that I have my tables brought in, I want to do a new query, right? So I'll just quickly, that's not what we're here today. I'll just quickly show you other ways you can get your data into your SQL if you don't have an existing data set like the one we shared today, right? You can just write a simple command like create table, name of your table, let's say students, right? And then you start listing the columns that you want to be inside that table. For example, the name, right? And the data type is a variable character, 50, right? And then the next one might be the matric number. That is a number, so it will be integers, right? So let's not dwell too much on this. Let me just do this. I just want to show you that there are other ways to bring in your data, but there's a lot of things you can put here. You can have your name column, your matric number column, your department, gender, and the rest, but it is manual and it will take you a lot of time. We could have done that, but that will take a lot of time. So I decided to create the data set and share with you guys. So if you do this, it will show you that it has been executed successfully. And all I need to do is to come here and refresh. If we expand it, we'll see our students table. But if we come here and say select star from that table, the students table, right? This is the table we just created now. It has the columns, but it is empty because we have not put any values in it. So let's quickly just add one or two values inside of it. So I'll now say insert into our table. what's the table name? Students. And we have two columns there. We have the name and we have the matric number. So I'm just going to select this. Now, this is the table. Now, I want to now, in fact, what do you want to insert into it? Values. I want to insert values into it. Then I'll come down here, open my brackets, and now the tricky part about this is don't make the mistake. If we have more columns here, 3 or 4, you list the 3 or 4, and when you are inserting into, you follow it. I will not put matric number first before name because the order is name and matric number. So let's now say John Okafor, right? Has a matric number of 112. Right. Now, we now be asking is why is John Okafor in parentheses and this one is not? It's because anytime you are using a variable character, which is like letters, you have to put them in the single quotes. But for numbers, they can stand alone. So that's why you see that this one is in single quotes and the numbers are not because they can stand alone, right? So this in one bracket is one row. Each bracket, open and close, represents one row. So if I want to add another row, I'll just say comma, enter, and do the, let's say, Sarah Daniel. So we're going to just do this, and then we're going to stop. Let's say our matrix number is 113, then we close. Now, if I run this, say 2 rows has been selected. Now let's run this command again. So you can see what we have here, right? But if we had been doing this in the class, it would have taken so much time. So let's now go to what we have. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is select everything from our table. These are the two tables that we are working with today. So let me drag in my sales table. You can see our data here. Now we have several columns here, right? And if I come down and do the same thing, say select star from the second table that we have here, right? You can see that you now have the region table. So why I'm doing this select star for everything is because when you are joining tables, the first, it is important and significant that you know the amount of rows that you have, right? So that when you are now getting your value, you know if it is correct or not. Because you already know what it should bring, the total row. And how do you calculate, check the total row? If you run your select star, that star signifies all. It will show you your rows here. So it's saying for the sales data table, you have 150 rows. If I run this other one, you have 120 rows. You can use count also. You can use the aggregate function of count, right? But they'll give you the same thing. Now, so that the two tables can show simultaneously, I want to select top, let's say top 7. It will show me the first 7 rows in this table. What I'm telling you to do is that show me the top 7 rows in the sales data column. And let me do the same thing for the region data table. Right. So over here, you can see the 2 tables. Now, speaking of join, right? There are different types of join. There's what we call an inner join. There's left join. There's right join. There's full outer join. There's cross join. And I think also Cartesian join. What each of these joins mean? I think I should just be typing them out. So there's inner join. There's left. There's right. There's right join. There's full join. Let's cross join. All right. Now, and then so some join. Now, when you are looking at each of these ones, right? What do they signify? First of all, your inner join. What it simply means is that, okay, I have two tables that I'm working with. There is your sales data and there's region data table. For there to be a join, there has to be a particular column that is similar in both tables. For you to have a join, for a join to work, the most used join in analysis ever, it has to be this four, right? If you are not using inner join, you are using left join. If you are not using left join, you're using right join. If you're not using right join, you're using full outer join. This cross join happens where there is no uh, um, similar column. You just want to combine everything, which most of the time it is out of 100%. I don't think it is used up to 1% because that is looking for trouble if you are using the data. This Cartesian join that happens when you do a mistake while you are doing your drawing. You are now doing multiplication because you didn't do your own properly. We'll get to the on part, right? So now, these are the ones that are most commonly used because this will give you accurate data. Join in itself is used in business data because most of the time, for you to have the holistic view on your business, you need to join multiple tables together. For example, there's this sales data. What it simply talks about is your sales, where you are the products that you are selling, probably how much you are making, the sales channel, the payments type is focused on sales. The region data is focused on the region. Where is this sale occurring? Is it occurring in which country? Who is the regional manager there? What is the target revenue set for that region? Right? So for you to have a full view of your business, you need to combine these two tables because one will not give you the holistic view, right? So you need to combine them together so that you can now know which customer, the product that they are buying in which region, who is the regional manager there, and what targets do they have in that region. So you can see why drawings are necessary in business because it gives you a full view of your business. Right. Now, moving with that, right? I like to use practical example and easy examples for you to remember. There's join and there's union. We're not looking at union now, but basically the only difference between both is that for joins, you are making two thin people fat, right? So the two thin people, you are joining them together to form one fat person. What does that mean? It means that this table here, this table here are the two thin people. If I want to join them, I'm carrying this and adding it here so that the person will now be fatter. So in technical terms, you are increasing the columns. So instead of having just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 columns, I can now have 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 if I decide to join all of them. For union, it's just making two short people taller and putting this one on top of there. So instead of being split, it is one thing, but they have different rules. So we're not going to look at that, right? So now, let's now start looking at setting joints. So let's start with the inner join. So I'm going to say select capitals. I don't want to take all the columns. So I'm just going to call a few columns from, I want to start from this sales data, put that here, right? So I'll say from customer ID, I want to pick this. I want to pick the product category. product category. So reason why it is showing for me is because I put this from this place. So it knows where it's bringing it from. But if I did not put this from, let's say, for example, I comment this house and I'm coming here and I want to say quantity, for example, quantity, right? It's not bringing it up because it does not know where you are looking from. So it needs a direction. So let me bring this back. If I continue typing this, you see it will come up quantity because now it knows where to look from this table. So I'm picking that. What else do I want to pick? I want to pick sales channel. Yes, okay. So now I want these columns, right? From this place. And I want to do, let me drop this. Let me come here and just say enter so that it will drop to the next line. Inner join. Inner join with this other table. Now, the first one we are looking at is inner join. What does inner join mean exactly, right? Inner join simply talks about, okay, so let me use another practical example. So there are two ladies and they decided that since we are best of friends, we should be meeting every Friday for a movie night. There are 4 Fridays in a week, right? Most sometimes there can be 5, depends on how the calendar is arranged. But let's just go with that. There are 4 Fridays in a week. The first Friday, right? First Friday for this example that we are going with, it will be inner join. I'm coming, it will make sense. Second one, left, third, and then fourth. Okay, so now on the first Friday that they want to meet in that month, but we need to know what kind of movies they like, right? Let's use Annabelle and Mary, right? Annabelle is this first table. Annabelle is the first table, the sales data table. Mary is the region data table. Now, practically, Annabelle is the person that likes romance movie. She likes any movie that has romance in it. Mary, on the other hand, likes movie that have comedy in it, right? So now, because the first Friday is inner join, it means that there has to be a balance between what Mary wants and what Annabelle wants. Inner join. So there have to be in the movie that they will be watching on their first night, the first Friday, has to be something that is funny and is romantic. And in fact, we even have a category for that. It's called rom-com for people that watch movies a lot. So it has to be something that they are both interested in, inner join, that are familiar with, because we don't want to please Mary and displease Annabelle. And we don't want to please Annabelle and displease Mary. So we have to use something that they are both interested in. Coming that and using that in a business sense is that we want to use this in the sales data table and the region data table where they are both connected using the primary key. And if you look at this very well, we'll see that the primary key here is the region ID. If you look at this, we have region ID here. We look at this, we also have the region ID here, right? So this is where they are connected. So we want to look at those that are connected, that are similar, right? The region 001 will be tied to region 001 here. Region 002 will be tied to region 002 here. So it is something that they are both interested in. Inner join. Am I making sense? Am I audible? Are we together?
Yes, you're audible.
All right, thank you. Right. So inner join has to do with something that they are both interested in. Right. So now I can now say, okay, I want to alias this. Alias simply means I want to give it another name or a nickname or a guy name, as we want to call it, right? And I say as SD, SD signifying sales data, right? I want to call this one as RD, signifying regional data. So because I want to now add, since I'm not doing inner join, what I'm interested in, I want to now add some of the regional data columns here. So I can come here and say SD so that it knows where it's picking from. The customer ID is coming from LSD, the sales data. The product category is coming from SD. I'm putting dots to signify ownership. SD dots SD. So don't get confused. So this SD is just saying this sales channel is coming from the SD table, the sales data table. Now I'll now say comma, and I want to say RD, right? RD. It's already bringing out all the columns in the regional data. So what do I need from the RD? I need country, right? I want to pick another RD. What do I need? I need the regional manager. So I'll pick this. RD, what do I need? I'll pick target revenue. So I'll come here and pick target revenue, right, from this. Now, I'll now come, I'll just press enter to come to the next line, right? I will now say from this and this, right? What is the key that is combining both? I mentioned it here earlier. Mr. Jide, do we have any people on the place that can take this question? I want to just ask to make it an interactive session if they're following. What is the two keys that are the two columns that are combining both table? I mentioned it earlier. Do we want to drop it in the chat or unmute our mic?
Please, let's be free. We can respond maybe in the chat, or you want to also respond looking at the two tables that have been executed. But just so that people are following, if you are following, kindly show it, maybe a thumbs up or something.
It's region ID.
Region ID, beautiful, right? So this region ID is what is connecting both of them. So I'll now say on where SD dot region ID, where is that young man? Okay, scroll down. Region ID equal to RD dot region ID, right? This, I have now successfully done a join, inner join. If I run this command, see what I have here. You can see that I have only the columns that are selected. This, and this is coming from the SD table. The last three columns is coming from the RD table, the original table. So you can see that it makes sense, right? You can now know which customer, the product that they bought, the quantity, the regional sales, the country that they bought it from, who is the regional manager, and what is the target revenue in that particular region. You are having an holistic view of your business, right? So with this, we can now say that we have successfully completed date night 1. The first Friday that we have completed it. Now, let's now copy this, come and paste it under so that we don't have to start typing them all over again. What I would change is this, right? The first night, remember we said that the first Friday is for inner join. The second Friday is for left join, right? So I'll now say left join. That is, every other thing remains the same, except maybe you don't want all these columns again. You want to change the columns. You are free to change it. The on is still the same thing because that is the connecting column. So you still use that. The only thing you are changing is your type of join, right? Now, your left join, what does that now say? Remember, we used two people, Chiamaka and Anna, right? Chiamaka is the sales region. Anna is the sales data. Anna is the regional data. Now, this says left join. The good thing about this particular join is it is plain English. This is the right table. This is the left table, right? So if you are saying left join, simply means that we are paying attention to the left table, right? Now, what this now means is that since the attention is on the left table, remember, Chiamaka likes romantic movies, Anna likes comedic movies. And since we are focusing on Anna, that is on the left, which means that we are going to focus on comedic movies on that second Friday night. If Anna likes, maybe in the comedic movie, there's a little romance, good for Chiamaka. Otherwise, it does not concern Anna. So the concentration focuses on the left table, what the left table wants. Using that in a business sense, it simply talks about that the focus is on the left table, and in that sense, every row, every value in the left table will be returned. Every value in the left table will be returned. But if it matches anything on the right table, it will bring it to. Because remember, we are matching with the region ID, R001 to the number that it is. So if it is going along the way, it sees anyone that the region matches, it will not say, oh yes, we are together. Come, let's go together. Right? Let me now run this, right? And see if it will make more sense to us. Execute. So when you can see here, all the regions. Wait, hold on. Yes, so you can see it's the sorry, this is the left hand side. This is the right hand side. Sorry, I got that mixed up. The region is on the left hand side. This is on the right hand side. Left, right. I got that mixed up a little. Sorry. Now it is focusing on the left. No, what am I saying? Yes, on the left side, right? And the region table is on the left. Sorry, hold on. I'm seeing something now. The sales data is on the left, SD. That is why sometimes it's not good to use just two things as your alias, because you find it hard to remember what it is. So SD is sales data, right? So the sales data is on your left. We are using left join. This is left, this is right. So it is focusing on the sales region. So that is why it is bringing everything that is on the sales data table. But if you look at these ones that are on the region ID, it is bringing some things here because the region ID matches. It is returning null here because there's no, the region ID does not match, but because priority is on the sales data, which is the left table, it will bring it. It doesn't care if there's nothing on the right table, which is the region data table. It will return emphasis on the left table. If you scroll down, you can see there can be a lot of other ones, right? And if you remember the sales data table, when we counted it before, it was 150. So you can see 150 here. It is bringing everything because this is the priority. Now, let me now copy this table again, or this code rather. Come here and now change it to right join. Now, we are now moving. We have done 2 date nights successfully. The first Friday, the second Friday. We are now on the 3rd Friday, right? And remember, right join, plain English. This is left, this is right. So before, the left join focused on the sales data table. The right join will now be focusing on the regional data table. Right. Every other code, part of the code still remains the same. We still want all these columns to come here. If you don't want that anymore, you have other requirements now. Feel free to change all of this. But the on will still remain the same because that is the connecting column, connecting both tables. Now, in this third night, Chiamaka and Anna, right? Chiamaka likes romantic movies, which means that we'll be focusing on romantic movies. If along the line there's comedy in it, then it is fine. We'll have comedy in it, but the focus is on the romantic movie. Using that in a business sense, it simply means that there is priority on the right table. It will be returning all the region data and connecting it with the sales data if there's any connection available. In real life data, there will be some connections most of the time. Either you're doing left join or right join or inner, there will be some connections, but there will also be some nulls, as you can see here. So let's run this. Right. So let's scroll down so you can see what is happening here. What is happening here is that all these ones that are showing on the sales data, it is because they are connected. The regional ID is present in both the sales data and the region data. The region ID is present in both tables. But if you scroll down here, you will see that it is not present in these ones. So hence, you have that null there. Good. So we'll be moving to the other one, which is the full join. So I will change this and say full outer join. Right. So what this simply means is on the last Friday of the month where they are meeting, right? This is a full outer join, which simply talks about that this time around, it can be anything. It doesn't have to be romance. It doesn't have to be comedy. It can be action. It can be sci-fi. It can be anything. Because in business sense, that just means that see these two tables, join them together where they have regional ID connecting keys, good. If they still don't have connecting keys, still fine. Just join everything together, right? Full outer join. I'm just going to come here and run this code so that we can see it. Right. So if you look here on the right table, you can see some null. If I scroll down, I'm sure you still see some nulls on the left side. You can see that too. So there are some that don't have any nulls at all. They are all connected because the regional ID is connecting. So there are nulls on the right, there are nulls on the left because you're using full outer join. This time around, you just want to see everything. Most of the time, you will use inner join because sometimes you want to know where it is connecting. Sometimes we'll use the left join. But I think out of everything, the inner join is the one that is mostly used in business sense. Right. So that is for joins. Now, before I move into adding where to what we've done so far, do we have any question we want to ask? Is there anything that's not clear on the joins before we now move to the next thing that we want to look into? Can drop it
So
in the
I have a
chat.
question.
Okay, please go ahead.
Oh, okay, okay. Thank you for what you have shown so far. It's fantastic. I just want to know how the joins relate to the lookups in Excel. If they have a relationship at all, and if they do, what's the relationship? How do they compare the joins in this SQL and the lookups like VLOOKUP or XLOOKUP in Excel? Thank you.
Okay, so the VLOOKUP that you just mentioned right now, right, is the same thing as this join that we're doing. Because what does VLOOKUP do? VLOOKUP looks at two separate sheets and using the connecting ID, something that is similar, it brings in other columns, right? That is what VLOOKUP does. So VLOOKUP is like a join. If you now want to do other things, other tricks and things in Excel, you now go to your Power Query. But this join that we're doing right now is exactly like VLOOKUP that you mentioned, because if you look at your VLOOKUP, you are still using a connecting key. There still has to be something that is connecting that you use to bring other columns, which is what we are doing here. We are connecting on these columns here. So does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think it does. Thank you so much.
All right. Do we have any?
Just to help him while we wait for others, just to say something actually. VLOOKUP is like left join. If that makes sense to you, Olawale. Left join. Oh, let's confirm. Can we hear me just to be sure?
Yes, yes, I can hear you.
So that you not say which type of join. Because in my head, I think your question is sounding like which type of join in SQL is VLOOKUP. So VLOOKUP in Excel is most similar to left join. So if that
Okay.
answers for you clearly.
All right. All right. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Please, others, do you have any questions? Do you need clarifications? If you do not have any questions, you know what? Just show with the raise of hand that you are fine. When we see your hands up, we know you are fine. Please just show with the raise of hand that you are fine. That's all. Oh, I hope Joseph didn't make mistake of clicking. Okay, I see our hands. Oh, thank you. I'm sure that Joseph made a mistake of clicking exit or why you want to, but it's fine. Okay, so while we wait for Joseph to reconnect, oh, I'm happy. Thank you so much. I see your hand. So Erica, that means you're also fine. Olatunji, thank you. Oh, good. I'm happy. Okay, I'm happy. But Joseph has left. I mean, I'm sure that by accident that you clicked. Uh, Kalista. Okay, I hope internet is fine. Okay, so thank you. But while we wait, right? While we wait for Joseph to rejoin, I wasn't looking at his laptop. I hope he plugged it. So, but while we wait for him to rejoin, oh, Kalista, you're back. So I would like to ask anyone, what have you picked based on? Okay, let me ask first. I hope it's a simplified join for you. I hope the scenario was painting actually made a lot of sense to you. That's one question. And second question will be, what have you been able to learn based on the few things is able to show? Please, I will really need our reactions. One thing is very important. As a data analyst, knowledge of SQL is key. If you understand Excel, you understand Power BI or Tableau or any business intelligence tool, you also need knowledge of querying. So that is why all this thing that we are doing, it's very important. So having said that, anyways, the first thing is the scenario is painting. I hope it is very clear to you. And the second thing is, what have you been able to pick? So I'm not going to call names. I just want us to respond in your own way. But if I don't get any response, then I can then call, right? Erica, please, I've not heard your voice. I need someone to even confirm my internet is fine.
Loud and clear, sir.
Thank you, sir. Good.
You've not
Yes,
heard my
Erica.
voice because I'm kind of new to all this, so I don't know much. I just wanted to
Oh,
have an idea what this SQL I always hear about is all about. So yeah.
oh.
Yeah.
Okay, but since you've joined, just help me so that we'll know how to then help you better. Since you've joined, this thing that you were saying, how sensible it is to you in your own way. This thing that I was talking about, join a table, I'll just need your response. That would help us to cater for you for that. Maybe in another SQL class, maybe we do, maybe a beginner session. So Erica, your mic is muted.
Yeah, I would say this is my first time
Oh.
having
Okay.
any contact whatsoever with SQL. So maybe the beginners section will make more sense for me. I just wanted to
Good.
join the class and see what it's all about. So I
Thank you
would
so
really
much.
appreciate the
Good.
beginner session. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, good, good, good. So thank you for that. Let me react to Mr. Jacobs. I've learned how to query a database, connecting two different tables together and sourcing data sets from them. Okay, thank you for this. This is me responding to our messages in the chat. Despite the fact that I joined meetings late, I just got a clear understanding of different joints because I'm used to,
Hello, sir.
yes, Joseph, you're back. So I'm
Yeah, I'm
used
so
to,
sorry.
no problems,
My
I understand.
yeah, my internet source went off. I think it was low on power. I didn't check it.
Okay. So people have been responding to some questions I asked, what they have learned. And Adeolu said, despite the fact that I joined the meeting late, I just got a clearer understanding of different joins because I'm used to cross join. So I am happy for this feedback. And then Joseph, one of us, her name is Erica. So this is the first time she would be joining or maybe hearing about SQL. And that
Okay.
means that we will need to, not just for her, I'm sure there are others too that would also benefit. So we might need to later on do another session for beginners. You know,
Okay.
anyone that is joining for the first time, hearing join, join, join. What are we even joining? So we need to have something before we join. So that would but you can continue, please. Well,
Okay.
Mr. Jacob, your hand is still up. Do you have a question or you are saying you're following? Good, thank you. So Joseph, you can go ahead.
Okay. All right. So I'll be sharing my screen again.
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay. Good. Right. So that is for joins. So let's now look at where, right? This statement, the where statement. Now, this statement is very powerful because what it does is it acts like a bouncer. I'm sure some of us has gone to clubs before, right? There's somebody that stands at the door and determines who would gain access into the room or not, right? That is what this statement here does, the where statement. It allows certain people that you have indicated that this one can go in, but this one cannot, right? Now, let's come here. Let's just use this one as an example, the inner join. Come down here, drop it here. Right. So now I'm going to add this statement to it. Let me just press enter and then say where. So what I'm saying, what I want to tell this particular query is I want you to select all of this on this join, inner join. Remember, we said inner join is what is similar between both tables, right? Good. I now want to say where the product category is clothes. For example, I'm only interested in, I want to know how the clothes section of our business is doing. So I'm not interested in the office supplies, the furniture, and the electronics and the rest. I'm only interested in clothing. So I will now say where the SD, right, product category equal to clothing, single quotes, right? If I run this, you can see what is happening here. The product category is only returning clothing, nothing else. Only clothing. That is what this where does. It's like the another note, like if I don't want to say the bouncer of a club, is like the key to a door. If you don't have the key, which is this where, if you are not with this where, you are not going in. The output will not include you because this where determines who goes in and who doesn't. Now, there are other things that I can use. Let's say, for example, Right now, it is returning clothing, but there are more than clothing in our category, right? If we run this, we can see clothing, office supply. If we scroll down, we can see furniture, electronics, and the rest, right? Let's now say I'm interested in clothing and furniture, and maybe I want to add electronics also. There's a function that I can use. I can now say, where is the product category in? So I'm simply telling it that I want to provide a bucket for you, right? Make sure that whatever you are returning is in that bucket. So I will put this in here, right? So I will say clothing, furniture, single quotes, furniture, then let's say electronics. Right. So I'm just going to close this. So I'm saying return, use this where to return category, product category, where the product category are in these buckets, this open bracket. So clothing, furniture, electronics. Any other thing that is not in these buckets, I don't want to see it in the output. It doesn't mean that they don't exist, but they're not just going to appear in the output. So I'm going to run this so you can see it. Anything aside these three that were listed, it is not going to appear here. Right? There's something else we can do. We can say, you can use another function, between, right? But between mostly works just for numbers, right? I can come here, wipe this, or just come here, say where the, just copy this. Between, but this time we're not looking at product category. Remember we said numbers, so we'll be going with quantity because that is what has numbers there. Between, we want to know people that bought one and say 10, just as an example. I'm going to run this. So you can see it. People that you will not see anything higher than 10 here. Because that is what the condition I have given. I can come here and reduce it and say 3. Right? It is only showing you anything between 1 and 3. I can now even say use another condition and say where it is greater than or equal to 5. So anything that is less than 5 will not appear here. Right? Anything less than 5 will not appear here. Now, let's even say, do we have a, okay, it's not appearing here, but I think we have a date in the main data. Let me run this particular one again. Okay, so we have other dates, but it's represented in date time, right? It's represented, there's date and there's time. We need only date. There's a function we can use to do this to come out as only date. So let's come down here. I want to put it in I want to add it as a column. So I will say other date, right, comma. Good. I can now come here and say where, so in this case, what I want to use this date for is in our business, then I said, okay, oh, we want to know what we have done in the first 6 months. We're not in 6 months yet. We're still early in the year, but let's say last year, the first 6 months of last year, 2025, we want to have it and then maybe compare it to what we are doing this year, right? How can I do that? I can have it here. Remove my, if you look at this date here, let's look at, let me run a select statement on the sales data. Start from this. Let's run everything so we can look at it. Okay, where is that? All right. So if you look at these other dates, right, it only shows that there are only it carries one full year. So from 2023, you can see dates in November, January, December. So basically, it is the whole of 2023 from January to December. Good. Now, let's run this one again. Okay. So I want to now come here. Let me move this so it's not confusing us. This is the one we are using. Just come down. Right. So I want to bring the first 6 months of that 2023, which implies from January till June. So I can now come here and say where SD order dates, right, is greater than or equal to, in single quotes, 2023 01 01 single quotes, and SD order date that's my less than or equal to 2023 01 no 06 31 because June has 30 days. Right. If I run this, let's see what will happen. Right. Okay. Now, this is showing because I had done something earlier. Right. If that was not done, it will show you an error because it will tell you that you are trying to use letters as dates, right? It will give you that error. What I simply did, for those that I will be trying it, if you're trying it with the data set that I shared, you're probably going to come across an error. Now, don't get confused. What you can simply just do is to cast it. Cast. What that simply does, it says, you see this thing that I'm giving you in this bracket. I want you to represent it as, and what do I want this to represent as? What do I want it to become? I want it to become a date, right? I want this to be a date, and I want this to be a date, right? So if you run it now, it will give you the same result, right? It will give you the same thing. So this cast is important is when you are working with columns that have date time. Date time will mostly throw you an error, but if it is one that is representing only dates, you don't have any issue. You don't need to cast it. You're fine. But I'm only using cast because it contains dates and it contains time, which most of the time will give you an issue when you're doing your where clause and trying to use your dates. But once you cast it as a date, you are fine. You have automatically told SQL to represent it as a date and you are fine. Right. So if you look at these dates now, you can see that everything here, there's no date. This is the year, month, and day. There's no month that is above the set June that we keep it here. None will be above that. So you can see that the where clause is powerful because it acts like a barricade. It acts like an access key. Anything you do not put here, everybody has a way in. For example, if I run this, everybody is welcome, right? Everybody is welcome. But if I put the where statement, I am now being selective. of what I want to appear in the output. Right. So I'm open to any question anybody has. If there's anything that is not clear or anything you want me to go over again, please feel free to unmute or drop in the chats so that we can make sure that we all had value for our time. We've learned something and we didn't just come here to, waste each other's time. So please, if you have any question, anything that is not clear or anything you want me to go over again, please indicate.
Please let us respond. Let us react, and let us also celebrate our speaker while we wait for your reactions. So this is me giving you a heart and then clapping for you. I see that others are also doing that. So everyone, if you have questions, you need clarification, we cannot overstate this. This is what you will pay for, and this is what we are trying to do for the community. You get the point. So every time we come together, I beg you to take advantage of this. People would share their experience, people would share and simplify just like Joseph has done, using, relatable things. And so if you have questions or clarification or you're fine, it is just the time to react. You can also give us a feedback. So please, anyone can go. Thank you. I can see Increase giving you a heart. So I need you to respond, please. Anyone, you can just say something, give us feedback. If you don't have questions, so you're fine. Anyone, please, you can go ahead.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Joseph. That was fantastic. You were able to break down those joints as if they have no joints. Pun intended. All right. I just want to add the perspective. You've been using analogy and it's fantastic. Just to add to what Mr. Joseph said, those where could mean like, okay, when you use the example of the club, it could mean that only those who have platinum cards can enter, or those who have silver cards. So the where clause could be where cards being carried by a member is platinum, or where card being carried by a member is silver. I just want to throw that perspective in to what he has, the fantastic job he has done already.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you
Adawe.
for that. So Joseph, you want to respond to a question in the chat? You might want to look at it.
Okay. Okay, so my question is, if I'm getting date time error when running this web query, can I use cast to fix what I'm doing? Yes, exactly. So cast will will tell you to look at it as a date and forget the time part of it. So that will make your code easier to and simplify to run. So using cast will solve that error for you if you're having date time. Then another one says, can the list of attendees be closed so that we can? Okay, all right. Sorry. Okay. So do we have any other question?
Yes, sir, I have another question. But that's the question I wrote down initially before we started. How do you get, backup is very important in whatever we do. How do you get to back up your SQL file? I mean, the database file that you're working on. You've imported the CSV file, SQL interface. So the question is, the file that I'm now working on, the file for my database, how do I get to back it up? That's the question I have.
Okay, so if you've done so the question that you're asking now is, you've done your joins, you want to make it permanent. Is that what you're saying? Or you're talking about a particular backup that if you're in a business sense, right? There's business yesterday. What you want to do is that you want to back up, have like a copy of your business as at yesterday somewhere else. Which one are you
Yes,
talking about?
yes.
Okay,
That
your
second
business.
one, which is to have a copy of my business.
Okay, all right. So that what you can simply do, because that cannot apply here because this one is a dummy data if it's not connected to a live data set. That one that you're talking about is when your business is connected to a live data set, that a live server where your there's an interface where people react with and data is flowing into your database. So what you can simply do is just to come here and where's this is the database that I want to back up. I just right click on it and say
Okay.
tags, right? And then I can now
Mm.
say backup, right?
Oh, that's simple.
If I Yes, that's simple. Click on it. It will ask you where you want to back it up. Is it a full backup you want to do or a differential backup? A differential backup is you have done this backup day before yesterday. Do you want to just add
Mm.
only yesterday to make it the difference, or you want to do a full one, a transactional log? It will ask you where you want to back it up, the space. Make sure you are backing it where it has enough space, and then you just click OK. It might
Mm.
take a little time depending on the
Wow.
volume, but yeah, that's it.
Thank you so much. Thank you very, very much.
Any other question, please, before we end the class? Okay. Okay, good. Thank you, Mr. Joseph. With the recording being made available for us to go to, yes, it will be. Okay. So if there are no questions, before we end the session, I want us again to celebrate Joseph. Of course, Joseph is a community member, a leader in the community, and just like Mr. Alawale too. And what we always do is, so we grow the community and then we give the members platform also to lead us. And that is what we've been doing since the beginning of this year. We've seen Joseph, we've seen Olawale. So someday Erica will be ready to take us. I mean, that's how we've been helping ourselves. So that you not say, don't worry, you get there and you just be like, okay, today I also want to share with us. So our next class would be in the second week in March. And for people that joined earlier, we've spoken about it. We want to talk about something amazing. And I really would want you to join. And if you can invite your friends to join, because you will be shocked at the outcome of that. It's not about data analysis. We've been doing data analysis. We've been doing Python. This community started a long time ago. So we've done Python. Of course, we've revisit all of that if you want. We've done Excel. We keep doing because things keep, I mean, the world keeps changing. So we keep adding things. But this time around, some of the community members, they've gotten jobs. They are making money. Of course, some people are just joining. They would also understand. So for people that are making money, or for some people that have more money, how do they make more money? That is what the class. We could have two classes in March, but I'm talking about the one that will come first. That one has to do with making more money, right? And don't think I'm just saying it. No, we are not talking about with mouth. We want to be able to help ourselves in the community, how to use your skill to make money. That's what we've been doing now, right? That will be well equipped. When you are well equipped, you're able to attract good jobs and you get, I mean, a good job. Don't worry. And at the end of the day, you also want to ensure that while you're working to make money, your money that you've earned should also be making money. That is the focus of the next class we'll be holding. I want to tell you something, right? I've seen a lot of people spend a lot of money to attend the session that will be happening next month in March. So it's something I really would want it to. Is there a group? Yes, there is a group. So it's something I want you to please not miss. Though it's going to be recorded, but if you have those people in real time with us sharing their insight, helping us how to use our money to make more money, this is recorded, right? But I'll cut that part if I want to make this record, because whatever I'm sharing with us is what is working for some of us. I'm sure it's working for others too, but some people will not come out and tell us that this is how we make more money. So that is what we want to be sharing with us. I will also be learning because I want to make more money. So thank you. Any reaction, any comment? Is there a way you can, let me look at it. Is there a way you can start from the who doesn't? Okay, yes, this is Olatunde. Yes, we would. Joseph is taking note. Olawale is taking note. They are part of the community lead. Um, so I've answered Olatunji. So meaning that we need to do a beginner kind of, yeah, we'll do that. Is there a group? Yes, there is a group. Um, okay, so I will stop recording now. Then I can share the link of the group here for you to click and join. No, I will stop recording because this is going to the YouTube page. So if I'm doing that, it's going to be recording. So I'm about to stop recording. So don't leave. So thank you everyone for being on the call. See you in the next class. This is Miss Time to stop recording. Okay, so then I'll copy the